We're back. But I don't know where that cut off. I was giving a history of Hugo Boss. I was just getting into how after World War II, Hugo wasn't allowed to run the company anymore, something like that. But he ended up giving the organization over to his son-in-law, who is the one that kind of went from making military uniforms to, or governmental uniforms to stylish governmental uniforms, by the way. Those things were fucking, you talk to anybody. The Nazi Party was the best, the most well-dressed government ever. Today, you crank up pictures of the Nazis right now and compare them to politicians of today. Politicians, there's no style, there's no grace, there's no oomph, there's nothing. Everyone's wearing a suit, pantsuits. And they're probably, I don't know how many Hugo Boss suits are walking around fucking Capitol Hill, but I don't know why. I don't know why. Has anybody ever tried tapping into that fucking market? Why did you even think to do that? No, we're gonna go put outlets in Atlantic City, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Why isn't there a fucking outlet right in front of Capitol Hill? Right in front of Capitol Hill. Right in front of the White House. Because you can't put them Yeah, I know, there's an outlet in fucking DC, but I heard that's a rough neighborhood. One of my clients was from there. We used to get a lot of clients from the DC area, and one of my boys, he wouldn't even tell me his name. He didn't want to get signed up to the fucking Hugo Boss experience. He didn't want nothing. Just give him my shit. I'm getting the fuck out. Call me DC. All right, no problem, man. I have people coming in with fucking bullets tattooed on their arms. We had some cool people coming through that store. But it gets dreadful. It's so fucking dreadful. The peep just... I have an ego. I have to be like... I don't know. I need to be active. I need to be doing something. I need to be talking. I need to be fucking... You have to be engaging me. I need constant engagement. Otherwise, I start engaging myself, and people get freaked out by that shit. But it's like, the fuck do you want me to do? Like, one, I'm very comfortable with myself, and two, the conversations I'm having are actually like important conversations. Because if I gotta be here, if I'm here, I'm not home. If I'm not home, I'm not working. If I'm here, like, I need to figure out how to merge my work with that work. Because one, I don't give a fuck about this place. I don't give a fuck about the money. I mean, I do give a fuck about the money because the money's actually helped me out a lot. But I got to figure out a way to make both of these work together, because I'm not giving up my dreams for everybody else. That ain't happening again. Because something I used to impart on one of my teammates was, I used to say to her all the time, like, a thought came to me, and I said it to her more than once. Anytime you're feeling like lost or in despair, just remember this: I gave up all my dreams for everybody else. Repeat that to yourself. And every time I would work or train with a new team, especially once I started traveling, because I was traveling for a little bit, and that's what I would impart on the people that came in. Because this one store I was at for 4 months, they want me to fucking move there and take over the store, and yeah, I'd be great at it, I know. But I wasn't ready for that kind of transition. And plus, it was too fucking cold. Lancaster, Pennsylvania is the coldest place I've ever been. There was a night, I don't drive, so I have to walk everywhere. And I usually would go out to eat, or sometimes I would get stuff delivered to my room. But this one night, there was a cigarette place, because Wawa wouldn't sell me cigarettes. Wawa wouldn't fucking sell me cigarettes. Because I didn't have a valid license. I got 3 fucking licenses in my pocket. And you don't need to scan it, motherfucker. Because I know, because the little motherfucker last night didn't fucking scan it. Man, this one fucking day, I go in there, begging, please, God, please, please. I need cigarettes to get through this fucking day. Please. And this fucking girl, she was just about to fucking do it. Just about to fucking ring them through, and then that fucking manager comes and just stands behind her and looks. Don't forget to ask for his ID. Why? Why? And at this point, this was not the first time it happened. It actually had happened, I don't even know, 4 times? Maybe 5? I used to get anxiety just walking to Wawa. When I was down to my last 2 cigarettes, I smoke a pack of cigarettes every 2 days. I don't smoke, like, so much. But when it would run down, fuck! Gotta go to fucking Wawa again. Ugh. That's why I like this spot. At nighttime, especially around a moon. Like, usually I'll come out here like on a quarter moon or a full moon. I howl at the moon out of this motherfucker. This is the border. This is the border. Don't go that way. That's the shady part of town. We can't go down there because I'm not allowed to. One time I went down there, I smoked crack, and I ended up on a fucking train to LA. Which I was planning on going to anyway, but I used to walk down to the shady part of town because everyone says don't go down there, people get killed, people get shot, and there's a lot of drugs, really bad area. So I would just go down there just to kind of build up my fucking, all right, man, you're going to walk around with a wallet that says bad motherfucker on it, then you need to be a bad motherfucker. And I've been having this wallet for fucking years. 10 years I've been rocking a fucking bad motherfucker wallet. Probably more than that. But I always used to say to my wife, like, did I ever say it? Did I ever say it or did I just think it? It doesn't fucking matter. But if you're gonna be walking around with this fucking thing, then you fucking better be one. Because there are some bad motherfuckers out there that will fucking crush your dick like it's a walnut. And if you can't scare the scary monsters, you're fucked. Then you're dinner, your lunch, motherfucker. You gotta think of the scariest motherfucker you can think of and then figure out how to fucking scare them. And then you gotta imagine them scaring the fuck out of you worse than you wanna scare them. You want to let them turn you into a fucking toasted pincushion where you're fucking burned at the stake, but you're immortal, so you can't ever die. But you got 3rd degrees all over your fucking body like fucking Anakin Skywalker, motherfucker. You got one guy fucking you in the ass, you got another one fucking you in the face. Then you got some other sick motherfuckers that come up and then they start fucking poking holes with you in fucking dirty ass knives. Then they start fucking the holes. Now you're getting fucked from your face, your ass, and all over your fucking body. Meanwhile, these guys are all laughing and high-fiving. Meanwhile, you're all fucking burnt to a fucking corny crisp. Shit and piss and fucking psycho cum all over you. It fucking stinks something terrible. And these motherfuckers are laughing and high-fiving, smacking you on your burnt ass. That's all fucking fried to char. Your teeth are melted, your fingers are melted. All you have is agonizing pain just to find out that you're the fucking bright, shiny center of the universe whose agony is keeping everything ticking around like a fucking clock for eternity. And the only way out is to learn to love it. and be thankful for it and go, oh my God, I love this so much. I love it so much. Thank you. Give me more. I need more holes. Sorry, you don't got no more room. Space is filled. No vacancies. That's how many holes are in you already. Ah. Do you know how much of a fucking nightmare that is to think about that? These are the depths that I have to go. I don't ask for it. They just come to me. But you know what? I know why they're coming to me. Because it's trying to turn me into the bad motherfucker that is on my wallet. Because I grew up with my father who was a bad motherfucker. So it's in my blood. It wants to come out. It's tired of taking bullshit. It's tired of the bullshit it sees other people taking. It's not just about me. But this is one of those situations, and this is where the love light community will you can be of service. How are you of service to people? How are you being of service to people? I'm being of service to myself. You ever read the fucking Bible, dum-dum? Now Lucifer stood up. You know why he stood up? Because he was tired of the fucking bullshit. He was tired of people getting pushed around. Tired of people being told what to do and talked down to like they were lessers. He was a believer. He was a fucking visionary. The fucking light bearer. You know what his idea was? Decentralized management. Oh my God, he sent me an email about that. Yeah. Let's not forget that Hugo Boss and the Nazi Party were believers in magic. And there were people who were calling for a government run by witches. Holy shit. And the high-ranking officials of the Nazi Party all had astrologers working for them. One of whom, I'm reading his fucking book, and he's legit as fuck. Possibly one of the most legit astrologers I'd ever encountered, because he's doing a form of astrology I don't know how to do. He's merging clairvoyance and astrology. That's a cross-classification of two different sciences. Do you know how fucking fascinating that is? Then why didn't they win the war? Because that's not the kind of astrology he was doing. Oh, they asked him questions, and he told them what to do. He put his input in, that's for sure. But he told the ones that he was talking to, he was telling them exactly what they wanted to hear. That's why they had him. He had a reputation. He was one of the best in Germany at the time. So when he was recruited, they knew who they were recruiting because he had already built up a reputation with low-ranking officials in the government. Low management. And his name spread. But that's when Himmler's people started to test him. His chat with Himmler was... delicious. No, they didn't talk about Jews at all. Actually, what I learned was The Jews weren't the only ones being put in camps. Unfortunately, the Nazis had to put their own people in there as well. Mainly astrologers, psychics, anyone that was too valuable to lose. Because, like I said, there was a movement. There was a movement. The Aryan race, they were magic people. They were a magic people that existed in ages past. The people that were in Germanic lore, legend, history, European, not just Germany. These people were pagans. They were the people that the Vikings... Those people eventually went on to become Vikings. The reason their ire was directed at the Jews was more than just the fact that they believed that the Jews were intentionally orchestrating the downfall of Germany. Because you have to understand, Germany was also one of the last sovereign states to fall. They put up a lot of fight. They really weren't when the actual New World Order started to spread. Because you got to remember, Europe used to be all monarchies. England still is. There's a reason why there's only one left. Because they sold out. They decided to give their secrets away. But you gotta remember, these are vampires too. You could Google it. Queen Elizabeth's sister, or her grandmother, was a direct descendant of Vlad the Impaler, who's the most famous vampire of all time. Listen, I've never did no genetic tests, but I have an open mind. And feel free. I mean, if you don't, if you want to say it's bullshit, and you're open to say it, I don't give a fuck. Just like you can say ghosts and aliens and magic ain't real. Witches don't have any power. All right, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. You definitely won't find any on YouTube. But for one reason or another, I don't know if it was just the source of it or whatever, but I have no doubts. I do not disbelieve the rumors of adrenochrome at all. There's actually a way to get it without draining the blood. They don't know about. That's why they do it the way that they do. You can find it online, actually. If you are a skeptic of the child trading ring that goes on in the world, that's because you're ignorant. Willfully or not, there are terrible, terrible things that happen. There was a movie, I talked about it the other day. Yesterday, I was laughing and I was talking about it. It's called a Serbian film. The movie wasn't just a schlock film thrown together just to gross people out. The film was made, according to the sources I went through, that the film was made by the director to kind of illustrate the shady shit that goes on behind closed doors in at least the Serbian government. That movie is banned in about half the world. I had to download unregistered, uncut version from one of my pirating sites that I used because I was a pirate for a while. I can get you anything. This was, as far as I knew, this was before I even heard of the dark web. This was light web pirating. This was just me using software that was available and trading sites that people were willing to risk their own safety and financial stability to share files with people, because there's an online movement. We're called pirates, but we also believe in the free trade of information. Because information, that's real money. The paper, the ones and zeros in your bank account, that doesn't mean anything. There's a spirit to it. There is. There's a dark spirit attached to it. It's called mammon. It's in the Bible. Very clear. Can't serve two masters. Either you work for mammon or you work for God. People choose mammon because mammon gets you that really good vacation, gets you the really nice suit, the nice car, the drugs, the women, the men, the boys, the girls, the blood. The opportunity to do things that you shouldn't be doing. Did you ever see Hostel? It's one of my favorite movies. It's so fucking gnarly, man. I'm not saying the acting is the best, but if you got a sweet tooth for gore and human suffering, oh, that is the film to do it. Now, here's the thing, is I'm not the only one, because one, this was a feature film that was released in every fucking movie theater in 2006. At the time, this movie was like, okay. Human Centipede, ever hear of that one? That one will shift your perspective on things a little bit. How you doing? If you never saw someone's mouth sewn to somebody else's asshole, oh, we got you covered. And we'll even up the ante for you. Then I'd suggest going to see fucking Human Centipede 2. Hello, Marvin. That's my boy Tommy 6'6". Tommy 6? Tommy 8? I never saw Human Centipede 3 though. The remake of The Hills Have Eyes. Oh my god. When I used to produce drum and bass, I sampled hard off that movie. One of the first songs I wrote, I think Digital Decay, there's a couple links to it, but I don't think the links work. I mean, they exist, so I can actually prove they exist. It's just, I don't think the links work. I called it You Made Us. I was so happy with it. I used to try to get on international drum and bass record labels, so I would fucking send that shit out. I sent it out to every label that I loved. Because as a drum and bass DJ, you get familiar with the labels that produce the music that you like, that release the music that you like. So some of the bigger labels have artists, and it's like, okay, I want to do that. I want to get on a label. But I think big. I go big. I go hard. So I would send it to all the big labels. I was used to rejection. They would always reject my song. Me and my boy, we did it together. We did some songs together, which actually one of his songs that we worked on together is on YouTube. I'm not credited, so you just have to take my word for it. I'm sure he would back me up that I did the drums. Because drum programming was like one of my favorite fucking things to do. I loved drums because we used to do drum and bass. And if you're not familiar with drum and bass, it's playing at 175 beats per minute. So if you understand music at all, music theory at all, then you know exactly what I'm saying. But if you don't, it's like I gotta build up for this. So it's like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. It's like doom ch, doom ch, doom ch, doom ch. That's drum and bass. But that's just a very simplistic explanation of how the drums go. I mean, you still got your you got your bass. Shit can get heavy. Depending on the subgenre that you're listening to. See, you got a lot of subgenres on drum and bass. Tech step, I can get down with that, but I was always more a fan of the dark step. He's smiling. I know. I love these days so much. They're like, I miss having turntables. One of on my wish list, on my good boy list, is turntables. Because what does my future life look like? It looks like me fucking spinning records again. And maybe even records. Like actual vinyl. Figured out a way to pull that off. That's not cheap. Oh my god, my record bag was so fucking badass. I had a Misfits record bag. I love the Misfits. I had a Misfits record bag. I had Misfits slip mats. And my setup was dope. Oh, my records. I still have drum and bass on my Spotify. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna listen to some hardcore. Yeah. Now we're gonna throw on Panacea. Yeah, Panacea is a German dude. I'm gonna put on my Miss Kim song. Shit. What's the Hurricane? I love this song. But Panacea is like the crew that Panacea rolled with, like those dudes, they go fucking, they'll break your goddamn skull. Like if you listen to this type of shit, this is like, to some it sounds like chaos, and in a sense it is, because there is chaos magic in this shit. They put it that, I don't know if they do it intentionally, but the samples that they use, like, it's, if you're in my line of work, you can appreciate it. Let's put it like that. Because you know who's talking to you. Because you know how it all works. It's delicious. It's divine chaos. Which is a thing. Which is actually a thing. It's like divine darkness. See, in the beginning, if we go off of Greek history, which is what I'm getting more familiar with, trying to get reacquainted with my Mediterranean roots. I spent the last 2 years getting in touch with my pagan witch roots, my Aryan roots, and Aryan roots. I did have at least one family member in the party, so it's in my blood. But I also had a my father's cousin was a priest, and my grandmother is a witch. She doesn't call it that though. She doesn't admit to that. She doesn't need to. But she's the one who, when I was like 7, 8, she had a fucking deck of tarot cards that she kept around, and she's the one who warned me, don't touch these things or you'll be cursed. Okay, I don't want to fucking curse. She also turned me on to aliens too, and that was the brain fuck right there. That's what fucked me up for the rest of my life. I mean, the reason I'm even on this path is because the goddamn aliens, those fucking motherfuckers. These are facts. These are actual facts. I don't give a shit if you say they're not real. I've never physically seen one that I know of. But I see them here. This is where they exist. There's a book by Whitley Strieber. I bought it the night that my wife went into labor, or maybe a day or two before, and it was a book on aliens. For some reason, I can't stay away from it. If a good alien documentary, I'm gonna watch that bitch all day. But it's gonna scare the fucking shit out of me so bad. I'm not gonna be able to fucking move. I'm gonna think there's I'm gonna be able to feel them behind the goddamn walls, behind the corners, behind the doors, behind the shower curtains. As soon as I turn the lights off, that's what they tell me. If you turn the lights off, we're gonna fucking get you. Because we're in the shadows and there's nothing you can do because you can't see us. And I realized because of that book how the fuck they were doing it too. And I was talking about this yesterday. Because their bodies vibrate at a frequency that's outside the visible spectrum. That's why you can't see them. Ah, God, I can feel it. Ah, fuck! You motherfuckers. Ah, fuck! I don't like talking about this shit. Why? Because they rape my mind. They've been raping my mind since I was a little kid. And they told me what they were doing. And it all came true. Everything they told me came true. Ah. And the funny thing is, some of them are encouraging me right now. Because I found out later in life, Arcturians are coming through to me, going, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Get it all out. No one's going to believe you anyway. Or maybe they will. Just get it out, please. At least you seem more sane than all the other ones doing it. But it was the Greys. The fucking Greys. The fucking face. There's a video on YouTube. It's like I think if you type in like alien Area 51, motherfucker. If you type in like Area 51. Oh fuck. He's coming at me. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, well, this might be me losing it, but it's also me getting over... This is me getting over, like, a massive fear, because this is something that's been haunting me since I was a kid, like I was saying. Like, this is an old one. This isn't something that's like, oh, this came up because of what you're doing. I mean, it is and it isn't, but because of what I'm doing is why I know why it's real. Yeah, I was fucking grabbing at one of those motherfuckers. But outside the visible spectrum, they're also outside of the physical spectrum as well. That's why you can't see them, because they can't exist here. they can only exist in higher dimensions, which is outside of the third dimension, which is what we live in. Because it's like, we only experience 4 dimensions, technically. I mean, consciously. We experience height, depth, width, but also time, because we have to travel through time for any of this to actually be moving. But time goes both ways. You have to understand that we don't know everything that there is to know about time yet. So what we have to do, we can only speculate. But there comes a point where speculation stops being speculation anymore, and you start to realize that all of that speculating, yeah, that was all fun and well, that when it all came to be, but where are those speculations actually coming from? Holy shit, there's a source. What the fuck? But now here's the thing, is that source is also at the root of one of the most major religions in the entire world, which is Judaism. So if the Jews know this stuff and we don't know this stuff, why isn't anybody telling us this stuff? Probably because it's a lot to take in and you have to take it piece by piece. Because once you realize that there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it, it's a bit of a fucking mindfuck. QAnon even said if the truth ever came out, like 90% of the world would die. And the deeper that we went with that movement, eventually I broke off. I broke off from it. The political aspect of it, that was one thing. And yeah, you know what? The rumors in the media that it's a conspiracy theory. Yep, you're right. It is a conspiracy theory. There is a lot of bullshit in there. I know this because I detached myself from the bullshit, which was all the shit that the news started to report on. But there were some aspects to it that the news did not report on, which was the route that I went. I wasn't the only one, because I did meet people that were also down that road. But again, not again, but there came a point where the QAnon thing just kind of detached itself, because it didn't know everything. It knew enough. It knew a lot. It knew a whole lot. A lot more than what most people would be able to recognize, because it just happened to be that this one particular rabbit hole that I went down was something that I had been questioning myself about for my entire life. And how did he know that? Why did he call him a he? They. I don't know. Just instinct. Because I've wondered if it turned out to be me in a different time. Because there was a rumor that QAnon was a time traveler. And one of the projects I'm working on is exactly that. Is how to defy time using social media. Because the internet, it exists. It already existed. My ex-wife, this was like the sexiest thing she ever said to me. We were both fucking high as fuck, and we're lying in bed, and she goes, "Do you think the internet was invented or discovered?" And that fucking blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck? Where the hell did that come from? I never asked her that. Well, no, I did bring it up to her once before, and then she said, I was just really high. What do you expect? I mean, smoking pot saved my life. I was drinking like every single day at a point. No, several times over the course of 10 years. Like, I drank a lot, but rum and coke specifically. But pot, once I started smoking pot, that's when everything started happening. Father died. I think my aunt died, my father died, my cousin died. All like 1 year, next year, year after, my father and my aunt died on the exact same day. Which only means something because I know their relationship. I know their relationship well enough to know what? Okay, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. And every year it makes more and more sense. I still talk to them. They come to me together. My aunt once came to me so that I could feel her pain for her because she doesn't have a physical body. So what happens is when people die, they hold on, that emotional baggage is still there. All of that emotional weight that you die with stays with you. But because you don't have a body, a physical body, like you can't, like you're just tortured forever. This is heavy shit. But this is fact. This is my conjecture. This is how I see reality. You don't have to see it that way. Hey, if it just happens to be so, I don't believe in coincidences. Ugh. Yep. Ugh. Dubstep just kicked. This sounds like Transformers raping each other, but in a good way. It makes all the fucking evil inside of me just fucking sing with fucking delights. I love the dark side. I don't know. It's something that's always been in me ever since I was a kid. Even when I first saw Star Wars, like Darth Vader was the one who caught my attention the most. I mean, I used to want to be a Jedi, but that's because I used to suppress all of my evil. When I was a kid, I was afraid. I was afraid I was going to become a serial killer. Because I used to get off on torturing this doll that I fucking stole from my friend. I used to write these fucked up stories. Remember this one, the doll, it was an Alvin and the Chipmunk doll. I fucking drew scars all over it. Oh, this guy needs some serious help. Yeah, I know. Yeah. This is hard to do on your own. That's why I need a partner. A life partner. A romantic partner. A business partner. A divine partner. That's what I'm waiting for. Because I'm on a divine path. I'm not stupid. It's not like I need people to validate that for me. This is something that's been growing inside of me since I was a kid. Like, trust me. Like, I'm good. If I know the secrets of the fucking the toasted pincushion, trust me, I'm good. That's the worst you can give me? Alright, let's say that they're fucking demons with giant spike dicks with knives on them. Oh god, that fucking is so horrible sounding, thinking about. Oh my god. Aliens touching me. Experiments. Probes. Ghosts, poltergeists. Poltergeist is a movie by Trauma Films. Oh my god, I hope Lloyd Kaufman's still alive. Lloyd Kaufman is the founder of Trauma Films. Trauma is... Do you like schlock? I love schlock. What's schlock? That's a type of movie that you just, like, what the fuck did I just watch? It's like taking a mop covered in toxic waste and then painting your brain with it. Literally. Because The Toxic Avenger, which was the first trauma movie I ever saw, was like literally that. It was this janitor dude, Milton. He's this little fucking weenie. Mind, this is like a fucking early 80s, late 70s. So there was no rules back then. No rules. They did whatever the fuck they wanted. A lot of bullying. It's just... This would be an HR's nightmare. If shit like this really... Wow. Let's say it did. I've imagined it happening. Like Carrie type of shit. Oh, we're gonna invite this bitch out as the prom queen. Then we're gonna dump fucking pig's blood on her. Oh shit, we didn't know she had telekinesis. But Toxic Avenger, the janitor dude, he's in there, he's fucking mopping the gym. And the one hot chick, they trick him because they wanted to fuck with him. So they got this hot girl to flirt with him, which then like she's like, meet me in the jacuzzi. So he goes to the jacuzzi, the lights are off. He's like, where's the lights? He's like, no, we're gonna keep the lights off. And she's like, all right, pucker up. I want a big kiss. So then he kisses her, and they hit the lights, and it's a fucking goat. And everybody's pointing and laughing at him. And he was wearing a tutu. She had to put on a tutu. A polka dot tutu. They fucking run over a kid's head. These were bad kids. They gave themselves points. They had a game that they would hit fucking pedestrians. And they fucking see this kid on a bike, so they fucking plow right into him. And then when he's on the ground, like, his fucking bones are sticking out, they fucking reverse the car and fucking crush his skull. And it fucking explodes like a grape. But fucking Milton, he's so embarrassed by what happened with it's a sheep, I'm sorry. With the sheep that has lipstick on it. They put lipstick on the sheep and then made him kiss it. He started running and flailing. And he jumps out the fucking window of the fucking gym onto the street. But he fucking long shotted it. And right as he was fucking right about to jump, a fucking truck filled with a bunch of open canisters of toxic waste are driving by. And he fucking he swan dives into a fucking bucket of toxic waste. And his body starts to melt, and he's all fucked up. He's on fire, running down the street, screaming in pain, and everyone's just sitting there laughing at him. So he gets home, and all the toxic waste just kind of melts him away, but it mutates him into this giant fucking monster. And so the Toxic Avenger was born. And he would fight crime. And he stopped the kids, the teenagers, who had set him up, who had been killing people. He was a goddamn hero. And then he met a blind girlfriend. And she loved him, despite what he looked like, because she couldn't see him. She couldn't see him the way that he was. And I think they even got married. They might have even had little toxic babies. There was 3 Toxic Avenger movies. Trauma has been around for a while. I think they're still fucking making movies. Not too long, 2017, I think it was, 2016? My wife and I, we took my son to this horror convention. Well, I mean, I set it up. That was my thing. I'm taking the credit on that. I always did cool shit. Go to the zombie crawl. You ever go to a fucking zombie crawl? There used to be this zombie crawl up in Asbury Park in New Jersey. It's like fucking 2,000 people would show up, all fucking dressed up as zombies. But then and then they would just crawl around, they would fucking walk around the city. But then there was the adult one, because not everybody was doing the bar crawl. So you got a zombie bar crawl, you got zombies up and down the fucking city. There's fucking zombies everywhere. Every fucking where. Like, there's not really many normal people left. They got fucking makeup artists that go there. It's big fucking... It used to be a big deal. Fuck. Used to be a lot of fun. Especially when you go fucking bar hopping. Because there's zombies all in the bars, too. Zombies drink? Yeah. Zombie movies are like my bread and butter. I fucking love zombie movies. I'll fucking watch zombie movies all day. Return of the Living Dead 2, by far the greatest zombie movie ever made. I don't give a fuck about the Dawn of the Dead fucking purists and all that bullshit. Now, Zombie 2 was another bad motherfucker. Zombie 2, so I don't know if it's still the way, but in Europe, when American movies get released in Europe, sometimes they get different names. Like Return of the Jedi, when it was released in France, I don't know if it was just a France thing or if it was all through Europe, but in France it was called Revenge of the Jedi, which was kind of the inspiration for Revenge of the Sith, which would come out years and years later, but that's a whole other thing. But when the original Dawn of the Dead was released in Europe, it was called Zombie. So this Italian horror film producer, he made a movie, he made an Italian zombie movie called Zombie 2. And the reason he called it Zombie 2 was because he was trying to... It's the reason why we have copyright laws. And intellectual property laws. I love that idea. I fucking love that idea. What? No, Uncle Hugo just gave me an idea. The toxic line. Toxic brand, toxic line. The Toxic Collection. Oh, with a K. Told you it'd be worth it. I mean, that was in another video that was deleted. I don't know if we have too much time left. Maybe like 10 minutes, 13 minutes. Because I gotta go home. What do I gotta do? Well, I gotta upload these videos. Do I just delete them and fucking re-record them? No, because my anxiety. We have to. I deleted those for you. Don't ask me to do that again. I'm not lying. I did have a lot of fun. So even if she did do that intentionally, let's say she really is a toxic person and was like, all right, I just want to drain some of his energy because she does have toxic vampiric tendencies like I do. She may not realize it, but I sense it because it triggers mine. Because mine's getting triggered right now. Because my thought going through my head is, hey, I don't give a shit that you didn't tell me that you weren't going to come. Because I ended up having a lot more fun by myself than just sitting around the house waiting. Even though I much rather had fun with you. But probably wouldn't have been as much fun as I am. That could be a thing. Oh, I know the way around that. No. No thanks. My heart's sensitive. I can't help it. I had to do this once with my ex-wife. This time's the last time. And I have to put my foot down on it. That was the hardest part of breaking up with my ex-wife. Because she came back after she left. Like literally like maybe an hour or two later. But you said, I know. I couldn't let go. And then I said, look, here, let's take a break. Why don't we take a year off? We'll go live our lives for a year, and then we'll kind of we'll recollect on this. And the day came, she never said nothing. And I know, Derek, you probably should have initiated it because she was probably waiting. Yeah, but something told me, nah, she's good. She don't want this. I had my own, at that time, I was not in a good place. I mean, I was in a good place. No, I wasn't in a good, well, I mean, but it wasn't a bad place. We'll put it like that. It wasn't the worst. I could have been in a lot worse of a position. I could have been fucking getting my fucking arms and legs chainsawed off. Or my dick being bitten off by a hungry piranha. Like, dipped in acid by my toes. Having my ex-in-laws sending the mob after me. Like, jail, on the streets, being burnt at the stake. I was at my mom's. Good, this way she doesn't have to worry about me. Because I have a history. I have a very long history that goes all the way back to my childhood. And my mommy worries about me. She wants to make sure I'm safe. And I don't want to give my mother a heart attack worrying about where the fuck her son is at. You gotta get out of your mom's house. Yeah, no shit, but once I'm in a secure place, I do my best. I don't give her much, but I do my best to help. And yeah, I gotta get reminded sometimes. Oh well. Why? I don't know, because it just tells me I have to. Yeah, just wait for them to ask. You never know, this might be the time they kick you out. Or something else will come up. Another opportunity. Nah, but I caught up. Like, even when I was gone for 4 months, like, I paid them up for that. I like to help my mom. Like, I'll do her returns for her. But I don't drive anymore because of my license. But I'll go with her, go do returns. We'll go to the bookstore and shit. She's cool. We have a good relationship. We have a much better relationship now than we did when I was growing up. It was terrible up until my father died. I resented her for a lot of stuff. But after my father got sick is when we we started to reconnect in a different kind of way. And one of the last things my father even said to me was like, just give your mother another chance. All right. So I did. And I look at this as like a good opportunity for the both of us to reconnect. Because we're so much closer now. Like, we're kind of like on the same frequency. I know when she wants to be left alone. I know when she wants to have a conversation. I know when she wants to go out. It's cool. And my stepfather, I love my stepfather. He's great with my mother. Exactly the type of guy that my mom needs. My brother, I moved out when my brother was like 11, so I missed out on about, well, I moved back 4 years ago. He was 27, about. So I missed out on like 16 years of his life, so. And in my time here, I've met his friends, co-workers. I've worked for the same company as him, like. Gone out, spent a lot of really awesome, had a lot of really awesome times together. Like, you gotta move out of your mom. Why? I love my family. I got to reconnect with my uncle, my uncles, my grandmother, my aunt. Post-mortem. My father talks to me now more than he did when he was alive. Or we can communicate about things in a way that we couldn't when he was alive. Like, listen, my life is awesome. I see aliens. Like, I don't know if you caught that before, but that was actually happening. Gotta make sure I gotta write that down. I definitely gotta write that one down. Ah, fuck. But now there's another lady I would recommend too. Her name is Gigi. She's on YouTube, but she's a little more sophisticato than I am. She has a different approach to presenting deeper information. Pretty cool. I like her. Her channel actually helped me. It helped me find my crown and my sword. Not literal. Figurative. Metaphorical, spiritual. Well, actually, I mean, help me find another sword. In the spiritual realm, like, you gotta understand, like, swords, that's your mind. It's the mind, it's the thing that's going on in there. You need to have a sharp mind. That's why I work with dragons. That's why I can see dragons. That's why I can talk to them. I mean, they don't talk English. At least not yet. But I did learn Dragonese. I'm not even joking, because I totally fucking did. And it was because of that How to Train Your Dragon book, which my something that I learned from my witch teacher, my guide, my coach, my fairy witch mother. Me and magic. I love her. But children's books are dripping with magic. If you want to know magic, read a kid's book. Because you need a child's mind to actually understand it. If you're too rigid, if you're too much like an adult, if you can't allow yourself to see the world with a child's eyes, then you're not going to be able to see it. That's a big part. Now that might actually go over people's heads. But like Yoda said to Luke, you have to unlearn everything that you've learned. You have to go in with a beginner's mindset every single time you go into anything, even if it's something that you know, which is like which is the fucking hardest. Like, I don't know shit about what I'm doing. I'm just going off muscle memory. That's what it feels like sometimes. But then, boom. One of those downloads come and it's like, oh shit, nope. Whoop, there's an eye in the sky. Stand up straight, boys. Because upper management's about to come check things out to make sure everything's up to snuff. Or at least we're gonna find a good reason. I would be very surprised if my prediction is wrong that the human race is about to get a visit from upper management. Well, maybe not the human race, but more of the management of the human race. What the fuck is going on down there? Do you see this asshole? Well, one thing I know about Hugo Boss is they also watch their employees. And considering the fucking havoc that I caused by succeeding, because sometimes I think I wasn't supposed to succeed, that it was all set up so that I would fail and they would have somebody to blame. But I was doing so good at the job that it kind of fucked everything up. Because they were looking for a scapegoat. Because the management of the company was so atrocious. It was abysmal. It was, to be perfectly honest, like, it borderline like work camp situation. Like, the situation I was in personally was, all right. I mean, also keep in mind what I keep on fucking complaining about. They haven't paid me. They were hiding money from me. They weren't telling me about opportunities for more pay that I was potentially eligible for. But when I asked for documentation on this, they cut off all of my credentials, including the emails where I sent all this. So I started writing personal emails. And I included HR on it as well. Just to show I was serious. Like, I'm not fucking around. Like, give me my $2. But we all saw what happened to that kid. But who knows? Maybe when he fell off the cliff, like, he found like the life of his dreams waiting for him. The paperboy from Better Off Dead. Alright, this is gonna cut off any minute. I'm having so much fun right now. Yeah, but because I gave them a week. One full week. The last emails I sent, and I even said to them, don't even fucking bother me this week. Do not even think about my name. Maybe not in those exact words, but I was curt about it. I'm going on a self-care week because after these last 2 weeks, the shit that you guys put me through, the stress